What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 20 of my Total War Warhammer 3 Jiao Ming. I got Jiao Ming on the mind. Yuan Bo Immortal Empires campaign. Jiao Ming was what happened last time. We got the Confederation of the Iron Dragon, and now the whole family and the whole of Cathay as well, minus the jungles of Zinch there, are in our hands. And we're going to leave these guys alone because we may want to borrow at least a few of their units. Looking pretty good. Nobody to our north other than the remnants of Zatan's faction, which we will probably destroy eventually, though I would potentially like to get the buff on Jiao Ming as well before we do anything about that. And we've got 2 out of the 4 relays so far, so not too bad at all, I think, at turn 53. Now, before we get started, I'm going to get a few names in there. First of all, one of the suggestions was once we have all of the dragon siblings together, we rename our faction to a Grand Cathay, and I do love the suggestion, so there we go. Truly grand, finally, or at last. Then we are going to, well, I've been meaning to add some names for a while. You guys have given a lot of lion name suggestions, I gotta admit, like an absolute ton, and I'm not sure that we actually have enough lions. I am building more and working on it. Vice Minister Snoofles will be our first Jade Lion, and then you will be Lion L. Johnson. I can't remember the spelling. I'm just gonna go with an H for now, and then I'll double check. I'm almost... there might not be an H, but whatever. Then you shall be Mr. Paw. I think, yeah, full stops don't work in names, so just Mr. Paw. Let's do that, or else it'll be a double space, and it'll... oh, but the, apostrophes work. Interesting. And then you shall be, let's see what we have here. Yeah, Fluffy. Oh, there's pretty much always a Fluffy in the campaigns when there is a monstrous unit. All right, that's good for you guys. And then I know I want to keep some of the crows in an army. I don't know whether it'll be Yishi's army or not, but we will keep these crowmen and put them somewhere, so they can have names as well, especially since they do have decent amounts of levels. Magpies for you, and shiny hunters for you. I'm not going to spend too long doing this, so I'm not going to get all the names in there, but, just want to get a few. Miao Ying, your war drum can be non-stop drum solo. Alright, and Grace of Trian, Alright, there's a Yuan Bo themed named for some crossbows, but I'm not entirely sure that the crossbows will have Yuan, well, will be in Yuan Bo's army. But anyway, okay, we'll do more names later. Let's get to the actual gameplay, shall we? Yuan Bo, you've got places to be. There is a fell cargo out here, but I don't think it's a big enough deal for you to be concerning yourself with, so head out to the Sea Corps and then move southward to Relay number 3, and hopefully some nice battles around, especially since you're going to be the only army down there, and there's a decent likelihood of really auto-resolve. You're gonna kill off the Empress Crumman. Auto-resolve. You really are going to screw with me, aren't you? I fear that we may actually have to take Crowman out of Yuan Bo's army over time, mostly because they're just too irritating with regards to auto-resolve. Alright, I'm gonna fight this manually super quickly. Alright, and we are getting... we're gonna get a few units into Yuan Bo's army as well, as in a few more units. Probably could be a decent idea to replace the crowmen with artillery, or maybe a couple of, or maybe a long marauder. I do want an army with them, but I guess that army will not be able to auto-resolve ever. Anyway, let's set up, and I'm just going to just tell everybody to march forward and kill, because there shouldn't be any difficulty here. Yuan Bo, you can move out to yourself, and you guys can stay back here, at least until you have your mounts available. And, oh right, we have the one peasant archer in this army. Not for long, mind you, but for now. Alright, and the war drum in the center, please, and we can activate you in a second. Everybody, with the exception of the Longma Riders, can be group 3. Lock yourselves up, and no, you can be Group 4 like so, and get around the enemy and annoy them. Alright, start deployment and start battle. Yuan Bo, start moving forward because you can't transform at the current time. Everybody else, lock yourselves down and go. Drum, I would like you to activate, let's say armor for now, and we'll switch to magical damage afterwards, and then you guys can probably slowly move this way like so. Alrighty. What do we get here? 7 seconds until the transform. You guys maybe move around. Do the enemy have an artillery piece? Indeed they do, so they will start hitting you shortly. And let's see what we got here. Talons of Night. Not quite in range yet. Well, maybe we'll want to cast before we move on. And in fact, like so, I don't know if this will hit anybody, but here's hoping. And move right into it, please. There we go. Not so bad. That one got hit, and yeah, alright. Alright. Not too bad, I would say. And let's go for Talons of Night right here. And everybody else attack. Alright, flyers, go after the enemy range units. And do you need to transform right now? Well, I would actually like you to go for the enemy lord rather than deal with the depth guard here, so yes, I would. Alrighty, you guys, as in the casters, move forward. You should be able to take care of this. The mortars are firing at our range units, and here we are. Alright, Dragon's Fang active, please. You don't really need to Jade Shield yourself, but maybe use it on the Dune Guard, unless they get damaged by the depth guard out there. Let's use a few spells from our Lion Blob. I guess they're not being super blobby right now, but like so. And you ready to execute this guy yet? No. Let's switch out of, I was about to say switch out of armor, but it's probably not needed. Alright, enemy range destroyed, charge the back of these units, and you want to execute, please? Enemy should be just about dead. Ah, that looked like you missed, Yuan. Come on now, there we go. I guess you didn't need to hit him again. Oh, I like how the drum towers over stuff. It is pretty nice, and there we go. And the battle. I can't believe the auto-resolve made us fight that one. Oh, auto-resolve. Unbelievable. Yeah. It's sad about the Crowmen, considering, you know, they came with his DLC, but if that's the case, then obviously we can't be relying on them in here. Anyway, we're going to heal up just to maintain full HP. Hopefully we get something nice out of that. As in out of the battle in terms of reward. Probably not going to be materials at sea, but we get an Alchemist's Mask, which ain't too bad, actually. Plus a little bit of extra cash. Alrighty, Yuan Bo, head down here should be, what, maybe 4 or 5 turns until they get to the 3rd relay. Did I say 2nd relay last time? Not sure. Anyway, all you armies, you're going to move together, and well, half of you are going to keep recruiting, so nothing else for you to do. You're moving already, you are recruiting, alright, and that is it. Find Torellosaur, oh right. Alright, I was sending this one out to find Torellosaur, yeah. Okay, good job, Ruinous. I amuse myself sometimes. Anyway, with that, we can end the turn. Outposts, I probably should have checked those, especially with the extra factions that we have. Well, I'll do it next turn. I got excited about ending said turn. Oh, well, if it ain't Kugath. He's got himself plenty of Nurglings around, so maybe we can get a nice battle against him shortly. I do wonder if he's actually fighting the Legion of Asgore or whether they're friends. Generally, I would imagine that they become friendly because they probably have the same enemies down there, but we shall see. Alrighty, Vladdy, you want to peace treaty. Do we want to peace treaty with you? Frankly, the fact that we're at war with you probably makes a bunch of factions happy, but you are kind of a danger to our caravans. Well, I say as I decline his offer of peace. Well, let's just hope that the interior empire factions destroy him. Keep the established route or agree to the deal. Route less traveled, safer, faster. Yeah, sure, 500 gold is nothing to us. Ambusher discovered Kugath, settlement lost scrap towers. That's one of our new settlements that we got. And where the heck are you going? Alberic? I don't know. Ala begins outpost construction. Astrogoth Iron Hand. Oh, he's nowhere near us. I was like, wait a second, that's concerning if he's walked all the way to us. Although, if he's anything like Zatan, he's gonna have a bad time. Xiangyang got besieged. We have a technology completed in terms of research, and well, more upgrades for Jade Warriors. If one thing we needed, it was upgrade for Jade Warriors, right? Alrighty, let's get money. Faction destroyed corn. And just the rebel faction or whatever. Turns until impairment is complete. Do not lose control of the settlement containing the astromantic relay. I'll give it my best game. Alrighty, now you and you. You guys need to do several things. First of all, I guess Jiaoming, you're gonna head to Hanyu Port, wherein you will be recruiting, and thus you are going to transfer him some stuff. He probably won't need 3 war drums, and he's probably gonna have primarily melee and artillery. Which means he won't need a decent amount of this stuff. He can have... Does 3 war drums feel like it's too much? Well, either way, take this. Let's get rid of the range units like so. He's at 14 out of 20, and he has an alchemist. We could probably give him an astromancer as well. Let's go 2 drums for now, although if he has a massive line of melee troops... I'll think about it. And you know what? Let's put the Jade Lancers in here as well. I think we can use them in place of the Jade Longma until we get Jade Longma. And this puts him at 20 out of 20. Okay, that wasn't quite right. 4 Jade Longma, I'd like 5. And probably one of the Grand Cannons should actually be replaced with another Fire Rain rocket. We get more mileage out of that, right? Alrighty, so Fire Rain Rocket for you. All of you will become massive piles of Celestial Dragon Guard, and maybe -1 to get an additional Longma. And I don't believe we have any more Longmas in here, do we? Of course, we'll need to rebuild a decent amount of this stuff later on once we have the armor buffs. And yeah, the Longma Riders are tier 5. Alright, we'll get there. We'll get there. Anyway, you can stay here, or actually... maybe we should actually move you southward in order to trade the extra units to some of these armies down here. Like you, for example. Kugath, you're probably not going to be able to prevent us from taking Flayed Rock, which is basically undefended. You're poxed up, but head to Flayed Rock. I mean, he's probably going to move towards these guys, but that's fine. You can auto-resolve, and not even a lot of damage. We are maybe going to trade Flayed Rock away, but I will think about it. We're certainly going to delete this army, because it serves no purpose for us right now, but, you know. And a little bit, let's say. Alright, it's a decently balanced stack, if nothing else, that we got for free from these guys. Yeah, we'll retake the scrap towers, but it won't be from you. What kind of plagues is this? Oh, you got lots of plagues here. Yeah, if nothing else, we need to book it and destroy Kugath so we don't have to deal with the Plaguination. I'm reasonably confident we can take out the pile of Nurglings, but I'm not so sure about actually taking care of Kugath himself, so he's going to be a lot more concerning. Anyway, let us move, I guess, through this territory. We need to head to the Southern Sentinels, hopefully before Itza takes them. And we need to figure out a way to get the Star Tower. Oh, wait. Is there no crossing anymore from the Star Tower to the mainland, or am I just not able to see it? Huh. Was there not a crossing here? We're gonna need to get these things somehow. Which will probably mean taking rat territories, building them up, and then trading for this, unless we want to just destroy the lizards, which I'm not sure that we do, as they could make good allies and give us those reviv crystals, and that we potentially want. Anyway, you are not yet able to build Fire Rain rockets, not for a while, alas, and Miao Ying needs them as well. You have constructed Miao Ying's Jet Lions. I was originally going to go for the... Oh. Wait a second. Jet Lion. Alright, you, Jet Lion, are going to be renamed as Meow's Meow. Alright, every lord deserves a themed name. Celestial Dragon Guard, you will be the Jiao Offs. There we go. And the other one was the the Yuan's bows, which was for Yuan Bo, obvious. Well, that should have been obvious, but I'm not entirely sure where we might just give them to Miao Yang as a sort of a lending. Anyway, you maybe actually move to Turtlegate, and then we can move you in later in 3 turns. You guys. Alright, let me just see about this. This is a little bit annoying, but it has to be done. We need to transfer 4 Jade crossbows with shields. Oh, you know what? I guess we'll do that from here. And then the Jade Lancers will be replaced by... Wait, the Jade Lancers will be replaced by Lions. You guys will be replaced by Shields. We need at least 1 more Crane Gunner in here, which I guess you're toting around at the current time. Okay, you know what? Just move forward. And then we'll need Fire Rain Rockets. Yeah, that'll be the army. Okay, well, nearly there. Tech Thieves, move on out there, please. And I'm going to not move the rest of you guys around. Alright, Yishi, you don't need to move. You guys, you need to move all together so we can make full armies out of you and then make good use of you. You guys are technically supposed to be together. You know what, just move them all together for now. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong and I maybe should just use you to recruit your own units rather than having somebody else do it. Maybe that's the way to do it. Alrighty. Miao Ying, don't move for now. Just sit there and wait probably until Zatan comes back and gets himself killed again like an idiot. Tech Thieves. Oh, I didn't mean to click you. Let's move you and then let's end the turn. Alrighty. Tech Thieves are well positioned to annoy factions that everybody will be happy with us annoying. Another Scrivener available as well, which we should put on somebody, so that we don't miss out on the extra research, which we most certainly need. Scrivener for you, and I did the skills for the extra Tech Thieves between the episodes, so that's just fine. Find Torellosaur. Guess where you're going? Torellosaur. Go... Huh. Would it be faster to move by land or by sea? I'm gonna go by land for now. Alright, next Tech Thief, you are out here, and you're already well positioned to annoy these guys. And they do have another stack, and ooh, not a lot of the laborers this time around, which means their forces are going to get stronger. It's funny that we've had the easiest battles and the hardest battles both against the forces of Zatan so far. Kind of an interesting dynamic. Anyway, you are not quite there or are unable to reach the tech thievery, but that's okay. Let's do the buildings, let's end the turn, and let's try to find some more of those battles. Alrighty, so you are a goods emporium, which means... well, Hanyu Port is probably also going to be a commercial location, or a commercial district, so we'll do that in a bit. Tea Parlor... Yeah, Tea Parlor, just go for Tea Parlor. Tea Parlor for you. You're a goods emporium, but we do, however, need the Labor Conscription Bureau. I mean, we could build something else here, but I doubt that this place is going to reach Tier 5 before anybody else, or several of the older territories that have been Tier 4 for a while longer, so yeah, just go for the Labor Conscription Bureau. And then you are going to go for Tea Parlor, and then you... I guess another Alchemist Tower? Just gonna build these Alchemist Towers constantly? I mean, I don't see much of a choice in the matter. What else could we build that would actually be of any kind of benefit here? I mean, we could go for the Yin Lodge for the extra little bit of control. I'll think about it. Maybe we'll destroy some of these Alchemist Towers later, but I think right now it's not the most critical decision, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Wei Jin, you now have available the Temple of the Two Moons, which gives us Celestial Dragon Guard and Crossbow a reduction, and the ability to build them cheaper, though we probably won't be building them out of this particular settlement, sadly or ironically, as though it may be. You can then, I guess, head towards the Celestial Tower, because we need the extra research, as we do everywhere. Chamber of Visions, you're going to build the, well, Chamber of Visions for that extra magic item drop chance, and Lord Recruit rank, and Goods Emporium, more money. Alrighty, lots of buildings. Well, actually not that bad in terms of buildings. Considering how big our empire is, I think we're doing pretty okay and not overdoing the admin, let's say. Alright, and then let's get you a tea parlor as well. I think Let's see. Shrine of the Alchemist and Shenwu. There's a decent likelihood that orcs come down from Yeti Peak, rather, so I think stockades are going to be needed here. And the same thing may actually be true of Nanli. Well, we'll replace one of these things later. Although, of course, if we destroy the orcs, it won't be a problem whatsoever. But that isn't the case right now, is it? And Taitsu is actually reasonably far, so it may not need it, but once again, I'd rather not risk it. In fact, Shangyang, I deleted the cannon emplacements, or I was planning to, but I think I could be wrong. Let's not do that. Let's keep them there. Anyway, town and another contemplation garden for additional growth. Serpent Estuary, you're going to get the Tower of Ashung's growth up and running, and let's get you that goods emporium as well. Spice market, rather. Yeah, and then lastly, Nobler Country, which, well, not entirely sure whether we're keeping or not, but we can build it up because we have the money to do so, so why not do so? Let's see, you are going to go for the stockades, you're going to go for the stockades. Blade Rock, you cannot go for the stockades, and therefore you will get growth. Okie dokie. I'd love for the plagues to be, you know, deplaginated here, but that ain't happening at the current time. You are waiting to build a celestial barracks, so you can't do anything either. Alrighty, now we're ready to end the turn once more, so skip outpost available, don't skip that. The Oak of Ages, a hell of a place to build an outpost. Thank you for that, and more outposts available. Karasakarak itself, very much so. Wow, what the heck? You have no military buildings? This would only allow us to build miners? Are you kidding me? Huh. Unlocks recruitment of Longbeards. Maybe it's because of it being a tier 1 outfit. Did I build this in the right place? Yeah, I did. Okay, maybe I was lying. Who knows? We'll see later. Anyway, Great Orthodoxy. Helpit is not a bad place. The Tower of Karak should be reasonably well defended. Arengrad, I assume, is taken. Oh, Arengrad is not taken. We're getting all the best outpost locations. As you guys have pointed out in the comments, and actually several separate comments, we do want to actually build those outposts in good places now, unless they all be taken, so it's a fair point, and that's one of the reasons why we actually have more alliances up and running now. Lord's not moved, we don't have to move. Outpost upgrade available, sure. Well, while we have the cash, why not upgrade a few outposts? We did lose the best place in Altdorf here for Reichland, though if the Golden Order gets destroyed, that may sort of fix itself. Anyway, end the turn. I did move everybody, right? I didn't just go to... Yeah, I think so. Confusing myself as to which turn we're actually on. The Jade Dragon. Marcus. Marky, you want us to join war against the Bordeaux Errant? No, you keep fighting them, and whichever one of you wins is the one we'll remain in an alliance with. I don't see why we'd get involved in your sad little squabble.
The completion of this relay ensures the mighty winds of magic are guided in a new direction.
Alright, we've actually already heard that one, so I assumed it would be different for every single one, but I'm pretty sure that was the same. Flayed Rock besieged in Noblar Country, and Kugeth has actually moved in March stance. Oh, well, interesting. Looks like Bai Feng Piao is going to get a free kill, though Draj is moving, and yeah, he's in an alliance with Kugath, which means we're going to have to contend with him out here. Alright, Ambusher discovered, technology researched, swell, caravan completed, and we got the Griffin Legion Lance, plus 15% for cavalry units. Not a bad lance. We're gonna have to give that to an all-cavalry army. And a short victory achieved, capacity +3 for all heroes. That is not too bad. In fact, we probably want to get a hero up and running over on this side as quickly as we can. Alchemists are at level 1 though. We can get out of the Celestial out of Xingpo. The Astromancer's at level 17, and ooh, a trained one. Very nice. Let's take you. You're definitely going to go in an army. And at level 17, you're only 1 level away from getting your Wuxing Compass mount. That's pretty good. Alrighty, you're going to move up here. You guys all stay here until you're ready to go, but the Tech Thieves can at least move north. Both of them together, please, and we'll fight Kugath in a second. In fact, maybe we should fight Kugath right now rather than wait. So what I'll do is go to tech, select tech, and then we'll fight. More charge bonus for Cav, and come from sacking settlements, probably not super useful for us, and I'm looking in the wrong place anyway. Let us go for campaign movement range for Yang characters. I'm still thinking Moonwood. We are going to be using the war drums everywhere, and 30 armor is not too bad at all. And construction time is also quite nice, isn't it? Huh, do the war drums affect themselves with the buffs that they give? I wonder. Armor-piercing missile damage for Iron Hail Gunners, plus 15%, would give us another reason to use them. Unfortunately, it does feel like the Iron Hail Gunners don't serve too much of a purpose, mostly because they get just... they just get outcompeted by the crane gunners quickly, and then there doesn't feel to be too much of a reason to use them when you can just go for crane gunners instead, right? Maybe that's just me. Alrighty, well, Yuan Bo, your reinforcing units are going to be fairly far. I think, going to use you as a ferry, right? You have a little bit of extra campaign movement range. And you have a route marcher. Probably should use you as a ferry. I'm just now thinking whether we should give a couple of fire rain rockets to Yuan, but do we actually have room for them? Assuming that all these get replaced by melee troops. Let's say you become 2 more Longmas, and we have the Jade Sentinel replacing, replacing you. I don't really have a lot of room for artillery in his army. I guess the question will be, do we need artillery in his army? Do we want to rely on artillery in every army? They're just so good, though. I mean, there may be reason to make space for 1 or 2 fire rain rockets. I'll think about it, though. We don't have to rely on artillery to win, after all. Anyway, speaking of winning, Kugath, you're about to have a bad time, or at least I hope so, though if we take too much damage, Draj is going to clean up this army. Not that we particularly care about this army, mind you, but, well... we should still make decent use of it as we can. Time to go for Jade Warriors versus Nurglings, but it's Kugath himself with his 14k HP and his regenerative capabilities. That's going to be a real problem. Basically, we need to find out whether the crossbows and the peasant archers can outkill his healing. Here we go. For a second I thought that she was gonna say, we fight not only for our lives, but for our freedom, or something along those, lines. Modified version of the whole Braveheart thing. And oh, I like this map. Look at how the mountains of Morn and the giant mammoth tusks and whatnot are hidden in the fog in the background. Actually looks pretty great with the Nurgle corruption on the map. Surprising, but very nice. Anyway, I'm getting distracted as usual. Here we go. It's Kugath, Plague Father, and, well, while his Nurglings are... well, I don't want to say not scary. Nurglings are extremely effective troops. I know I sing the praises of Jade Warriors, and I also sing the praises of zombies, generally, pretty much all the time when I play vampire counts, because I love them, but the Nurglings are kind of the same way. They're extremely fighty in the sense that they're very hard to get rid of, especially with all the healings. And then Nurgle has, they're cheap, they're replaceable, and they're effective. You gotta love those early game units for various factions. But anyway, distractions aside, here we go. We've got a couple of units to destroy a Herald of Nurgle and some Plague Toads, so we're gonna charge forward with just a few of our troops, and nothing major. And keep the rest of the army ready for when we have to combat Mr. Kugath. And the Plague Toads are going to charge forth. The enemy is going to whiff on its spell there. We're going to countercharge the Toads with our Lord while the Jade Warriors take the rest of the charge, and we start hitting those Toads with everything, or every arrow, or bolt rather, that we can. Alrighty, and once the Toads are well and truly in the formation of Jade Warriors, the crossbows will switch to the Herald of Nurgle, such that we don't kill too many of our own troops, and besides, all those Toads are gonna melt away. Anyway, Alright, let's see what we got here. The Herald has about half HP remaining. I'm going to charge in with our Lord to do a little bit of a duel. And that would probably won't last very long, and we just need to do enough damage. Oh wow, that texture is really screwy. We need to just force it to melt away, and there we go. So it begins to melt. The rest of our troops can back way to our main line, and the Herald of Nurgle will fall. Alright, looks like before Kugath gets here at that. There we go. And don't even look back as the enemy collapses. Now it's time to get ready for Kugath, who is on the field, and, you know, I had forgotten the absolutely massive range he has on his special range attack. He's basically artillery. 400 range, 510 missile strength, and it is splash damage as well. So there we go. First hit will take about a third of the HP from the unit of peasant archers. Glad that it wasn't on another unit, but, well, there are more hits where that came from, and Kugath will keep chucking those, whatever he's chucking. Is he chucking Nurglings? There we go. Now this unit is down to half HP, and we can't stay here. He is going to do way too much damage, so we're going to have to get the rest of our army forward. You also may notice that I deployed more or less in such a way that the units are a little bit separated from each other. Usually, I typically only do this when the enemy has a caster or artillery that are scary enough to actually threaten us, although I noticed that the peasant archers walk faster than the warriors, so they're starting to move into position and block them, which is a little bit irritating, but what can you do? Anyway, we're a little bit concerned about what Kugath can do. There we go, nice shot right into our Jade Warrior crossbows, who also lose a third of their HP to a single hit. Alrighty, well, Kugath is going to do plenty of damage by the time our army gets here, so we're going to have to book it as best we can towards him. Another hit into the Jade Warriors there, but fortunately it looks like he whiffed on half of the attack, and he's going to use a Spirit Leech on one of the garrison units, which is a lot less concerning, mind you. Another shot, and good, into one of our garrison units, which basically got destroyed by the hit. And everybody keep moving. We're gonna have to send in our dragon-blooded Shugengan to distract him, because otherwise we're gonna take too much damage to this nonsense. Oh, nice hit. Almost, yeah, another 1/3 HP from a unit of Jade Warriors this time. Kugath making the Jade Warriors look extremely fragile with those abilities, but, you know, it is Kugath after all. We can hardly expect him not to do such things. Anyway, we are finally in range. The Jade Warriors charge forth. Usually we play a little bit more defensive with our battle lines, because we can afford to, between our general range superiority and our very hardy defensive melee line, but this time we've had to charge forth. Forsaken of Nurgle going to be facing off with a Cultist of Nurgle against the Jade Warriors, with a little bit of help from the garrison peasants here, though it looks like not so long on the garrison. Ow. Nice shot of that peasant getting hit by the special ranged attack of the Plague Bearers. And in the meantime, while all this is happening, our dragon-blooded Shugengan has not closed the distance with Kugath, is at least in the background, getting very close to him, and is basically going to repeatedly cycle charge Kugath in order to prevent him from firing on our main lines. Most of our damage comes from our crossbows after all, so we really need them to be firing and not being fired at. Anyway, massive pile of Nurglings overrunning a unit of Jade Warriors here. I believe this was a garrison unit, so we're not super concerned about it. And, this is the Regiment of Renown of Nurglings, the Frolickers Bubonic. I don't think I've seen these guys a lot, so nice to see them on the field. I actually don't know exactly what they do. Poison attacks, there's got to be something special about them. It seems to be this. Blisterback, damage, reflection, and heal. Oh, that's quite nice. That's quite nice on an already very not so fragile unit. Especially for their cost and such. Anyway, the lines are well and truly engaged. Tactically, this battle is not particularly interesting, but we essentially had to get as many of our melee units into combat as possible. Usually, I like to keep at least a couple units in reserve, or to flank the enemy as needed, but A, this is also something we do when we try to get awesome-looking battle lines, which I think we've achieved here, and B, we don't want Kugath firing at them, so he's not going to fire when we're engaged. These guys are getting ready to move into flank, as it looks like we have more melee infantry than the enemy does. And it looks like we're doing okay. Crowmen are charging the backs of the enemy units as well. It's not going to achieve much, and it's probably going to hurt the Crowmen pretty badly, but these are demonic units, so if we can get that morale shock going sufficiently, they will be able to do the... they will be able to force demonic units into banishment. The Nurglings are rolling, and oh, I love Nurglings so much. They're just so hilarious. There we go. And you can tell... They look like they're having so much fun, aren't they? What a glorious unit. I'm so happy that they made, that they added Nurglings. I was actually surprised that they added them at all when they did, because, you know, it's like a swarm unit, and there's so many of them, but I guess, well, the way that they implemented them makes it so I think 8 or 9 of the Nurglings are in each individual quote-unquote unit, and it's a good way to implement them, because they could do all these hilarious things, where they bonk the enemy with little Nurgling pieces and all that. Alrighty, well, it's Nurglings versus Jade Warriors, and at the end of the day, as long as that is all that's happening, the Jade Warriors will come out ahead. Kugath can't out-heal the damage by the looks of it, and we do have Crowmen charging in to annoy the enemy from the back, though obviously, once again, we can't keep them in combat. It's good enough to deliver those morale shocks. Looks like about half of the enemy Nurglings have melted away at this point. The bounce power is still only about 60% in our favor, so we still have plenty of a fight, and at the same time there's a plague-ridden running around in the background annoying our archers, and an exalted hero, and a cultist still to be taken care of. Plenty of heroes, if nothing else. Our dragon-blooded Shogun Lord continues to do the cycle charge, but, you know, she cannot fight Kugath in melee. Would just absolutely get wrecked, and look at that HP pool. I mean, damn, big boy. So yeah, all we can do is cycle charge and annoy him. But at least he's wasting his Nurgling ammunition like this, because it seems that every time we charge forward, he tries to chuck the Nurglings at us, as in at our Lord, rather than at the main line, which we can obviously appreciate. Anyway, it looks like most of his main line is beginning to collapse now. More and more Nurglings are being banished. The Exalted Hero is still fighting with that huge Great Axe. Man, that... Damn, those Chaos Steroids. Look how big the Exalted Hero is. He's like a troll. He's like twice the size of a Jade Warrior, literally twice the size. In terms of height, the Great Axe is like also twice the size of a regular sized person. Damn. You gotta love those Chaos Steroids, I guess. Well, now let's see if they're enough, because we're gonna surround you with more and more Jade Warriors. Granted, we don't have a lot of armor piercing, but perhaps we won't need it. With most of the enemy line having collapsed, we can start moving our crossbows and peasant archers in to start hitting Kugath instead, and we can simply allow the rest of the Nurglings and stuff to melt away, while Kugath gets brought down by the range. There we go, crossbows have moved in formation and are now firing at Kugath directly over this hill. I have no idea how they can see him over here, but maybe they can hear him yelling about this whole situation. There you go, Kugath. Let's see how many arrows it takes to bring you down. Steady. Lord dead. Oh, right, I guess because he was the reinforcement army. Huh. Well, I guess that's good if it causes him another morale shock, another cycle charge from our dragon-blooded Shogun, who has spent basically this entire combat doing nothing but this. But you know what? It probably prevented, you know, several hundred casualties, so definitely worth it. Kugath is now wavering, and there we go. He becomes unstable as the rest of his army will actually rout. Similar to many of the very difficult-to-kill lords, it's oftentimes easier to just collapse their army rather than bothering to try to go through that massive HP pool while his army works on us. Anyway, just gotta bring him down with range now. No more real need to cycle charge, and we still have plenty of our peasant bowmen and our Jade crossbows to finish the job. Alright, we are definitely not going to bother sending in our Jade Warriors, and at this point I actually start moving them apart from each other such that he can't get any more Nurgling blasts or spells on our main line. But it looks like finally he will be brought down, and only his little floating throne palanquin thing will be left. Kind of amusing, the idea of having Kugath face off against a Slan, especially with the with the way the Nurglings carry him, whereas the Slan just float. But anyway, a close victory for us. Certainly we did take damage, primarily to Kugath himself, mind you, but definitely worth our time, especially if this is the only army he has left. Man, that Kugath is a nasty piece of work. 14,000 damage. We've seen a single volley take like half of the HP of one of our units, including the Jade Warriors. That special range attack he has, extremely deadly, and we do have to watch out for it. Fortunately, though, he did move here in March stance, which means he did screw himself over, at least in that regard. And while we did get the Plague, chance of Plague spreading minus 80% should at least help you in facing down Kugath's forces. Now, we do want to get a spell here, and we're going to get Blossom Wind because, well, we really need it to face off against Nurglings, and you know what, let's get 2 levels in it, in fact, as I do expect we'll be using it plenty more if the forces of Drajoeth, the Ashen, attack us here. Still, at least Kugath is off the field, and we don't have to worry so much for a little while. You can move southward, and hopefully don't pick up one of those damn plagues, while Jiao Ming will be able to move and join you shortly, unless we swap space or swap spots with him, as in send Jiao Ming north rather than Miao Ying, because we already have the Zatan buff on Miao Ying. Might be more interesting to fight with Jiao Ming up there. I'll think about it. What that does not change is, well, I guess it sort of does change some things. First of all, where are those crossbows? Oh, you have them as well. Okay, fine. Assuming that you get replaced and you get replaced, and we get one more crane gunner. And there's not a lot of room in this army, damn. I mean, maybe 8 crossbows is too much. Maybe we go 6 if we want keep the crane gunners. Fine. We have room for 2, 1 for a crane gunner, and then 1 fire rain rocket. I'd like 2 fire rain rockets. Maybe just the 2 crane gunners then. Oh, but I do like them as range. But you know what? They're basically artillery anyway. All right, fine. That's what we'll do. Alrighty, you are going to go here. And you can move, right? So that means you don't need to take this crane gunner, which means you're fine. You can just move down here and then swap some of these units around. And what you need is to replace the Jade Lancers with the Jet Lines, including the Meows Meow. And then you will not take the War Compasses. You will remove the Jade Warriors altogether and replace them with additional crossbows, but just the 2. And that will leave you... wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, fine. We need to take 4 for now, and then I guess we'll I don't want to delete crossbows, though. Who are we going to delete? Alright, fine. Do this. We'll delete some of the Jade Warriors that have no points on them. Like so. Miao Ying, you are going to take these 2 Jade Warriors like this. Delete them, and you'll replace them with fire rain rockets. And that should more or less be your army now. Alright, well, hopefully we don't need another unit of crane gunners. I mean, assuming these are all going to be Celestial Dragon Guard. Did I go too much on the jet lines? Maybe we could replace one of the jet lines as well. That could be a thing as well. I'll think about it. One of the reasons I wanted the jet lines in particular was because of their missile mirror ability, which I think will work nicely together with the piles of range units. But generally speaking, I would think we'd probably get more mileage out of having another crane gunner in there, and I just convinced myself, damn it, alright, fine. Alright, take out one of the jet lines as well. And where are you? Crane gunner for jet line, but not the Meows Meow, obviously. Okie dokie. Now, you can move southward, wherein you don't need to fight, There is also the thought that if you fight Grimgore, you can get Hide Piercer, Hide Striker, is it? Which is a pretty good buff as well. So there's certainly... Any thoughts to be had there? Hey, don't do that. You all have too many units. Okay. So what we'll want to do is then transfer you to Yishi. At least those of these units that we want to keep, and then you can move back here for Fire Rain Rockets, or in fact, let's see, Harmonizer. Well, I was gonna keep you. Alright, move back for Fire Rain Rockets, you're gonna move back for Fire Rain Rockets as well. And you're just gonna mostly have guns and some artillery, especially because you do have the Zatan defeat trait. Just to double check. Labored, yeah, range plus 15% for artillery units, which we should really make use of because of the Fire Rain Rockets being so good. Alrighty, let's see who else needs to move, though I don't imagine there's too much. Yishi and... wait. I forgot something. Well, actually, no, I didn't. We probably don't need to move either one of you. I could probably get at least a few additional units in this army, just in case they get attacked here, because there is a likelihood that they will. In fact, we could also... wait, if we get at least one Fire Rain Rocket in Yuan Bo's army, we can transfer it right now. Okay, fine, you transfer the Fire Rain Rocket, and then deliver all of this. While you continue the recruitment of a second Fire Rain Rocket. You could probably also use a Grand Cannon, but, well, maybe you're fine for now. Will we have too few infantry if we get a Grand Cannon in here? I'm not sure. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. 5 is not a lot, to be fair, but we do have the Jade Lions. I do love the sound of those Grand Cannons, after all. I mean, I guess we could reduce the number of Jade Warrior crossbows, but, well, you know what, I'll think about it. You have to travel down here to meet with Yuan Bo without getting killed. You know what, I think we're gonna move through friendly territory, like so. Speaking of moving through friendly territory, you're going up here as well to retrofit your army completely, as those Jade Warrior crossbows without shields no longer serve a purpose. And I believe... alright, so there's Tech Thieves to move, probably at least a little bit of admin to do that we'll need to take care of, so I think I'll call the episode here. Next time we'll come back more or less end the turn, minus buildings or whatever we need to do, and then keep looking for battles. I do expect we'll have to fight Draj at least once next episode, and maybe we can even reach the 3rd relay. So stay tuned for more. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm, and get those names in there while you can. And thanks for watching.
So